Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission over in the country wielded the big stick this week by querying 35 stockbroking firms for non-compliance, basically failing to file their quarterly returns and committing other market infractions as well. We're crossing over to Lagos now, where the Director General of the SEC, Arunma Oteh, joins us live to unpack the situation that's unfolding over on that end. Arunma, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Well, so far you've sent warning letters to 35 stockbrokers operating on the Nigerian market. This out of the 330 stockbroking firms operating there. Is this the full extent of the action to be taken or just the beginning?
Thank you for having me. I would characterize it as just the beginning because market integrity is critical to any capital market. And so what we're trying to do is to do a fit and proper test for all of the brokers in our market. And what we feel is that filing periodic returns timely and accurately must be the first step. We feel that issues around capacity, issues around capital is also critical. What we're moving towards is from a compliance-based supervision framework to a risk-based supervision framework. So this is the beginning of what we're trying to do to make sure that both local investors and international investors understand that our markets are of the highest integrity and such that the bad eggs do not taint the good eggs.
So of the 35 that have already been wrapped over the knuckles, what kind of response have you received, and has a deadline been set, a time by which they would have to respond?
What we have given them are deficiency letters to outline what returns we haven't received. And we've given them a period of 2 weeks to get back to us to show cause for why those periodic returns were not received. Following that, what we will do, if we're not satisfied with the responses that they've given us, is to cancel or suspend their registration.
Let's look at the implications of that possible revocation of licenses. I mean, on the Nigerian markets especially, because this is sure to impact activity and investor confidence. And one would assume you'd have to look at things on a short-term and long-term perspective as well.
For us, building a world-class market is our goal. And we believe that investor confidence and market integrity are critical ingredients to a world-class market. And so my first remit is to focus on restoring investor confidence and market integrity. And our actions as regulators does give investors the impression about what we want to see in our capital markets, and the fact that improper behavior is not acceptable in the Nigerian capital markets, because our capital markets has great potential and has great potential to help our country realize its full economic potential.
While that is the the long-term objective here, key question on investors' minds right now is if these stockbroking firms have to be suspended, what will happen to the positions they have managed thus far?
As you highlighted yourself, we have over 300 broker-dealers, and many of them are very professional, very competent, have been keeping in touch with us and making their periodic returns. So we have no doubt that there's not going to be any challenge to any investor who has been dealing through any of the broker-dealers that we have sanctioned today.
Of course, this is just one aspect that you're dealing with. Part of the agenda has also been the issue of recapitalization. You've reiterated that the recapitalization of market operators has not been foreclosed, but stockbroking firms have kicked against this program as a whole by insisting that they're merely acting as the agents to those who invest in the stock market. So just how do you see this recapitalization program itself moving forward?
As I mentioned, we're moving towards a risk-based approach in our market. And what we must make sure is that all categories of players and operators in our market have an appropriate capital for the kind of business that they're engaged in. And so what we envision going forward is that the capital requirements would be dependent on the kind of business that you are focusing on. As I said, our initial focus is on being fit and proper to be in this market. And so, so broker-dealers who focus on ensuring that they meet the requirements on being broker-dealers is our primary focus. The next focus is to review the capital requirements depending on the kind of business that you are focused on as a broker-dealer.
All, of course, leading to enhance market integrity.